So I'm a product of the 70s and 80s. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. I was that typical kid, played a lot of sports, wanted to be a musician just like everybody else. It was great, Jim.
Okay, so now tell me about what you were like as a student in elementary school.
Well, I have to tell you, elementary school was wonderful. I was that student who read at the 12th grade level in 7th grade. Things were so easy for me in elementary school.
So you were a stellar student in elementary school and you got into Lane Tech, a selective enrollment high school. Now, everybody I think is expecting for their trajectory to keep going up, but that's not exactly what happened. Explain.
In elementary school, again, things were so easy. Everybody was telling me, Robert, you're so smart. And as I look back, I never really studied, but things were just easy. But when I got to high school, totally different story. That no studying and all that totally crashed. So I did not do well in high school at all. I just felt that it wasn't for me. I didn't feel engaged. And so it was not something that I look back proudly on.
So how did you turn it around?
It took me actually to graduate high school. I had a child right after graduation, well, soon after graduation. And at that point, I really looked at my life, where my life was going. I knew I was incredibly passionate about technology, but at this point, Jim, it wasn't going well. I barely graduated, had a low GPA, and I knew that I had to make a change, not just because I was a father, because of my goals, what I wanted to be.
Why did you pick technology as a professional field?
I was that kid who was taking things apart, wanting to know how things worked. I would play basketball at school, then I would come home and I would get on my Coleco Atom computer. So now I'm really dating myself. So I knew from a young age that technology was for me.
What was your professional path in technology that led you to working in the education environment?
So I started off at corporate, started off as a computer programmer, and I worked for quite a few different places from United Airlines to Hewitt Associates, great places. And all I was there, I enjoyed what I did, but I always felt that there was something missing, Jim. I always felt that, am I giving back? What's my service? And so that's what's gotten me to education.
Over the course of the last 100 years, there have been several technological innovations that we've been told were going to lessen the need for the teacher in the classroom. Radio, TV, satellites and microwaves, the internet, iPads, but it's never happened. The teacher in the classroom now is as important as ever. Why?
One thing I hear a lot from parents are, my kids are great at technology. I hear that often, Jim. And to a point, I agree. Students are great consumers of technology. They can go on, they can play Fortnite, they can play NBA 2K, and they'll beat me in 2K all the time. So they're great users of technology. Where that growth needs to happen is moving them away from just being users of technologies to producers, to creators. And to do that, they need guidance. They just can't pick up material on their own. They need guidance. So we mentioned all those technology changes and growth throughout the year. We have greater tools, we have stronger tools, but one thing that we will never be able to replace is that guidance, that physical guidance to help someone understand how to totally embrace and utilize that technology.